Hi, I'm Angela,
Hi, I'm Olivia.
and welcome to the Things I Wish I Knew series. Something I've always wondered about funeral cover is, what if I have multiple policies? Is that always the best? And what about the waiting period? Does it mean that if I claim today, am I getting my money like now?
These are really awesome questions, and I think a lot of our clients have very similar questions as well. In terms of having multiple policies, it's not always good to have multiple policies. We always promote that if you have one policy, exceed all of the people that you can actually have on that policy. Some companies will allow you to have 20 people, 15 people. We as Capitec actually allow 21 members that you can insure. So until you've exhausted all 21 slots, then it's okay, fine, then you have another one. But try and exhaust the first one, because otherwise you end up paying multiple premiums that you don't need to pay. So it's actually cheaper to insure everyone on one policy rather than having multiple. A lot of people do tend to have multiple because they think they have more cover. But actually, in fact, you're actually paying more. Yes, might have slightly more cover, but we actually have capping of cover as well. So some people, you only allowed to insure up until about 50,000. Minors, you can only insure until 20,000 and 50 and 60,000, depending on the age groups. So I would advise try and use the first policy first before actually exhausting onto multiple policies. And then in terms of waiting periods, this is probably everyone's worst nightmare. So you take up policy today, unfortunately most companies will have a 6-month waiting period. The reason we do this is to obviously eliminate fraudulent activity, but more importantly to make sure that you're covering the right people as well. So most companies will have a 6-month waiting period, and that's for yourself and for the people that you actually insure on their policy. So just things to keep in mind. Yes, you'll be paying premiums in that time, but at the end of the day, it'll be for the benefit of yourself as well as your lives insured.
As a young person, I've always wondered what's the difference between funeral cover and life cover?
I think the best way to describe it, think of funeral cover as the cover for the actual funeral on that particular day, and life cover is more like what happens after the funeral. So funeral costs and funeral cover itself, I mean, as Capitec, we pay out a lump sum essentially on your funeral, for your funeral benefits, and you can use that for catering purposes, transportational purposes, casket purposes, whatever you require on the day of the physical funeral. However, life cover, that's basically left to your dependents. So if you are married with kids, or if you have a family but you don't have kids, but there's actually your mom and dad or your other siblings that you'd like to leave money to, that is where life cover is really crucial. So to support a kid going to school or varsity, or just helping them maintain the basic household expenses. So those are probably the two biggest differences between funeral cover and life cover. So funeral on the day, and life cover, what I do after I've lost the person I'm dependent on.
That's great to know.